Welcome to Reimagining Abilities, our podcast telling some of the stories of the individuals we support. Hi, my name is Jerry Bernard. I'm the CEO of the Charles Lee Center, and I'm really proud to be supporting this wonderful organization. I've been with the Charles Lee Center a little bit over 14 years now. It's been a wonderful experience. Well, the Charles Lee Center this last year has done some really outstanding things. And to me, it's always amazing to see what we can accomplish in a year. But some of the things that we really were able to do this past year is we were able to see an expansion in the services that we provide in Tennessee as well as in North Carolina. And we've continued to been successful in integrating technology in the way we provide services for people with disabilities here in South Carolina. I think one of the other things that we're really proud of is that we've been able to move many of our individuals away from a sub-minimum wage reimbursement and actually being able to pay people with disabilities who work in the community with jobs that are paying at least minimum wage or better. So all of our individuals are now part of the workforce where they're getting paid for the work that they do. Well, the sub-minimum wage issue came out several years ago through a number of advocacy groups throughout the United States. And really kind of address the issue of what I would call cheap labor. Having individuals work in what would be traditionally called a workshop or a sheltered work setting where they build things or make things and use piece rate kind of approach. And so a lot of individuals are making what we call a piece rate, and if that translates into an hourly rate, it usually is quite a bit less than what we would consider minimum wage. And I think there is agreement that that's just not a rights issue. It is a rights issue, and really, it undermines the abilities of our individuals in being able to be productive members of the workforce. And we were able to prove that and show that our individuals can work at a reasonable rate and earn at least a minimum wage or better. And again, it does help them with their bottom line, but I think more importantly, it really kind of addresses, just an element of the human rights issues that folks with disabilities sometimes face, where they don't get treated equally or they're not being compensated equally for the work that they do. And this addresses that. And again, we're very proud of being able to get away from that, the minimum wage payment structure. We've also seen our ability to be able to utilize some new training tools that allow our staff to get trained and be more effective in the way they support our individuals. And of course, we've always stayed true to our person-centered principles, and we've been successful in using the person-centered approach to help our individuals to live more successfully in the community and at home and with their families. We've been able to increase our blueprint, as we say, in Tennessee, where we provide case management services. When we started there last year, we started with about 10 or 15 people. We're now supporting over 150 people in Tennessee, providing them with a variety of supports around helping them to live more independently. In North Carolina, we've done similar, but in North Carolina, we're actually providing housing supports. And we were at one point serving about 15 people. We're up to close to 25 to 26 people now. And we're excited about that. And then, of course, here in South Carolina, we've been able to help people move from more intensive supported housing to less supported housing by integrating technology and allowing people to live more independently through a combination of staff supports and technology. Again, that addresses a couple of issues. One, of course, is helping people to be more independent, but then the other one, which oftentimes is not really talked about, is the challenges with work and retention. Workforce challenges are huge, and we have to be more creative in the way we support people, because we just don't have the capacity to serve people the way we used to with the workforce issues that we have.
2023.
Yes, I think the big highlight this last year was our lip sync event that was sponsored by our foundation. It raised a tremendous amount of money towards our one of the big projects that we're working on right now and moving into the next year is our nature preserve. And what we're looking to do is have a preserve that would allow people with disabilities to experience the outdoors in a safe and accessible environment where they can go fishing, they go camping, they can go boating, they can do all sorts of things, go hiking, all in the safe environment of a place where it's accessible and folks are able to get around. And this fundraiser was tremendous and raised a little bit over $700,000. So it was a major event and really was a well-attended and a great community partnership with the foundation and the Spartanburg community. So I think that one of the things that I think we try very hard is to help people be part of the communities where they live, work, and play. And that's basically what our mission says. And I think that one of the things that we have really worked on at the Charles Lee Center is making sure that our individuals are able to be members of their communities. And it's a very important distinction between a member and a participant. A participant is someone who's just there, whereas a member, they're actively involved with the neighbors, they're actively involved in what's going on, and they're utilizing community resources just like anybody else does. And I think that's a big distinction that we try to differentiate ourselves from. We do want to make sure that our individuals have the ability to be actively involved in what's going on. And why is that important? Because if they weren't actively involved, what would they be doing? And really, that's really the question that we want to get solved. Having people with disabilities sitting around doing nothing all day, or having them in a room all day long, just isn't appropriate. And of course, more importantly, is, again, a situation where we really would be doing a disservice to people who just happen to have a disability and need some help living independently in the community. I think oftentimes people think that folks with disability are not involved or can be engaged, and we at the Charles Lee Center would like to prove otherwise and show the world that folks with disabilities can be part of the communities, be actively involved. And just one example, where we've seen the community embracing our individuals, we just participated recently in the annual Christmas parade in Spartanburg, and the reception that our individuals received during the parade was just amazing, and the community was just so embracing of our folks because they see them everywhere and out in the community. And so that whole idea of people with disabilities being sort of a foreign thing doesn't exist in Spartanburg, because we are part of the community, and therefore we're accepted, and our folks are able to enjoy the same things that you and I do. We're in the new year, and I think one of the things that I always am amazed by is that the Charles Lee Center has never been an organization that kind of stands stable. In other words, there's always movement, there's always change happening, and in my opinion, the change has always been for the better. So this year, just like any other year, we really have a number of things that we're looking at as far as projects that we're working on and making some changes. I think one of the biggest things that we are been successful in, and we're continuing to be successful in, is some of the consulting work that we're doing around technology. We have a reputation nationally now to be a provider that understands how enabling technology can help people with disabilities. We are in the process of upgrading our technology center, which is named after an individual that we supported, Jonathan Dodd. It's called Jonathan Dodd Technology Center. And we're actually adding some new features to it, which will make it more interactive. And we're also revising some of our training curriculum so that when we have folks come from other states, we're able to provide them with better information around how to integrate technology in their organizations. At this point, we've had visitors from about 20 states over the last year. And we started the new year already with two states that have come and visited us. One is from Kentucky, and the other one is from Tennessee. So really, really good stuff that's going on there. The other big thing, of course, and I alluded to it a little bit earlier, is our nature preserve. We are looking to break ground this year. We have raised a tremendous amount of money over the last few years, and we're actually going to start with the first phase of the construction process for the nature preserve. And that is really building the event center and starting to developing the trails, and of course the parking area. We do anticipate that this will be a 2 or 3 year process, but we do anticipate that over the next several years that we will have that project completed. Another project that we're working on, which I didn't mention earlier, is we're looking to expand our hydroponic program. We are developing a unique approach to how to grow lettuce and produce using a very modernized system to be able to grow organic vegetables and so forth. And we are actually expanding that to include a few more buildings. We have great relationships with the community where we're able to sell not only to the farmers market, but also directly to vendors like the restaurants in our area. And more importantly, we're able to employ individuals that we support in that program to be employees. Very, very, very excited about doing that. Then of course, we're continuing to see some growth coming in our technology area. We're using more technology in our employment programs. We're going to continue to do that so that we can support more people with less staff and helping them to obtain jobs. We're also seeing that same thing happening in our residential programs. We are becoming licensed to provide direct supports in Tennessee, which means that we're also now going to be able to provide residential supports and services in the state of Tennessee, in addition to the case management services that we're providing now. And then of course in North Carolina, we're hoping to see our numbers increase there as well. And one of the new things that we're exploring is the expansion of our blueprint in North Carolina to other regions within the state. So we will have an opportunity to kind of expand there as well. Last but not least, we are also aggressively looking at telehealth related services where we're going to be able to provide more medical support and medical care through telehealth services. This came about as a result of some recent legislation that's being introduced that would help telehealth become more accessible in the state of South Carolina. So hopefully that will pass, but we also think that for our individuals, getting access to healthcare has always been a challenge. And through telehealth, we're now able to get access to healthcare much quicker, much more efficiently, and much more effectively. One of the things that we're obviously very fortunate about, I should say, is that we have a very strong community support system in Spartanburg. I have the opportunity to work with a lot of other providers in our state, and I can tell you all that Spartanburg is an exception when it comes to supporting people with disabilities. So we're always very thankful for the support, and of course many of the things that we're able to do are a direct result of the financial support that we get from the county, but also the financial support that we get through the foundation that we support. And we also have had volunteers, and we continue to encourage volunteers to come in to share their expertise and their knowledge as we're going through some of these projects that we're working on. Our board is a volunteer board. That's one of the best ways for people to help and participate. We always have board vacancies, and if people are interested, we'd love to have you come and bring your expertise to support the Charles Lee Center. I did mention recently the volunteerism. Volunteerism does not necessarily have to just be with volunteering for individuals, but sometimes we need some additional help around HR issues or some leadership issues, some training, maybe in the finance area to kind of address some issues, or even some legal advice that we may need from time to time. So there are whole lots of things that the community can support us with moving forward. And I can say honestly that our ability in many ways to do many of the things that we're currently doing is directly related to the way the community has been supporting us by giving us the encouragement and being a partner in many things that we do. Many things that are happening behind the scenes that people are not even aware of. But those partnerships have been very instrumental in helping us achieve the outcomes that we've desired. The last thing I just want to mention is that a lot of the things that we've talked about today are things that we're very excited about and we feel very positive about because we're able to do these wonderful things. But I would be remiss in saying that we would not be able to do any of this really without the tremendous support that we get from our staff, the employees that work at the Charles Lee Center. Every employee of the Charles Lee Center is committed and dedicated to supporting our individuals with whatever position they have in the organization. And it's just tremendous to see the level of involvement of our staff at every level in the organization and their commitment. The work is hard, it's challenging, it sometimes gets frustrating, but they always do it with a smile. They're always positive, and they always want to do their best. And I am very thankful and grateful to have these wonderful employees, and I just wanted to do a shout out to all of them. As I did last year, again this year, for all the great work they do, and just tell them that we're going to have a fantastic year this year, thanks to them. And I just want to mention how much I appreciate everybody and the work that they do every day. If you want to support us, you can contact us at our website, www.charleslee.org. It's a wonderful opportunity to support our individuals, to help them be more involved in their community,